This is a garden update for September 15th, 2016. And it's an absolutely beautiful day today. So beautiful that I probably should be working in the garden, but I thought I would shoot an update video first because it's been a couple weeks and things have kind of taken off, and we've harvested some stuff, and some things that weren't growing are growing like crazy now, and so we'll get right to it. This is a heart nut tree. Heart nut tree. I keep wanting to call it a butternut for some reason. It's a heart nut tree, and this is by far the tree that turned out the best, grew the best. This is the very first one I planted. And I was kind of slow to plant them, so that might have something to do with it. I think this was where the tree was when we got it. So this is all new growth, and yeah, it's really nice. And it's probably 4.5 feet tall. And this is the other heart nut tree. This one didn't fare quite as well. I don't think the graft took. I know I said this in every video, I think, but the graft didn't take on this one. It's growing up from let's see, it's growing up from underneath the graft. So, but it's I'm sure it'll still fruit, and we'll still get some nuts out of it. And same thing with this one. This is a John elderberry tree, and it didn't branch out from the graft. It branched out from the bottom, from the roots. So. Tree's still alive, so I can't complain. This is the Adams elderberry, and I was lazy. I know, you're all shocked. I was lazy and didn't put the cage around this one, and as you can see, something has nibbled upon it. So yeah, little bunny had a little elderberry feast or something, but that's gonna seed. Not good. But yeah, so I think I have a total of 3 trees that the graft seems to have been successful, and 3 trees that they're growing, but you know, they're not. The graft doesn't seem to have been successful. This is the black everlasting mulberry. Excuse me. And mulberries are still there, pretty little mulberries, and still completely not ripe. They've gotten a little bigger. There's a couple more down here. It's I'm hoping that they ripen before the frost and we get to try a couple, but if not, there's always next year. And this grew pretty well. Pretty happy with that tree. It's not a bad looking little tree. I hope they make it through the winter. We're in northern New Brunswick, so we have some bad winters. I was going to say a worse word, but we have some bad winters. This is a Maza cherry. I'm really looking forward to when that fruits, and the graft took on this one too. It looks good. I'm a lazy weeder, as you can tell. Didn't grow a whole lot, but I don't know. I think it might be a smaller variety. We do have to get someone over here to cut down. Aaron wants to kill me, but this tree back here is dying. I think we keep losing. It's like a stand of maples, and every year a new one breaks off. And I want to just have someone take a chainsaw to it. And I know it sounds terrible, but we need the space, and I can continue the orchard over there in the back, and that will leave more room down here for crazy things like a hoop house and maybe a greenhouse and so forth. But that crab apple tree is definitely coming down, and this beautiful maple here will stay, or stand of maples, I guess, because there's more than one. And this bush is I'm going to burn that if I can. No, I'm gonna cut it down. I hate that bush. Yeah, and these 2 maples are going for sure. So maybe not the back maple, but these 2 little ones are going for sure, because they are right where my greenhouse needs to be. And I don't like the thought of killing trees, but we just don't have that much room here. You know, if I could get another acre, you know, if I had another acre, I wouldn't care. But I don't. So we have to make do with what we have, and you know, we're we're filling up the space pretty well. Frankly, lucky my wife doesn't divorce me. But yeah, we got her drinking the Kool-Aid a little. So these are the raspberries that I thought were all done, because you know, there's a little baby grasshopper on the back of that. I really enjoyed all the insects this year. We had a lot of grasshoppers and I don't know, things that used to make me kind of creepy crawly, which is silly. And now I just appreciate them. Yeah, so the raspberries flowered again, and they did the same thing last year. I don't think we're gonna get berries because they're pretty green, and I don't know if there's any chance they would ripen enough. But interesting. I need to do some research on that, see if that's a normal thing. Cucumbers. We pulled about 6 or 7 huge cucumbers off of these 2 plants here. These were the ones I got at the nursery place, and there's a couple blueberry plants in that bed still. This will be all blueberries next year. I just, you know, I didn't want to waste the space, so I tossed some stuff in here. I planted a little fall spinach and some radishes that I've been too lazy to thin. So yeah, you can see a little, I don't know what's going on with this plant. It's starting to die back. Doesn't look very happy. But there's still a few. That one's dying. There's still a few cucumbers here. A couple little ones going. Yeah, there's one and there's another one. So we'll probably get, I don't think we're going to get a frost for a couple more months. We'll probably get a couple cucumbers. More cucumbers out of that. And this is the white pineberry, Carolina pineberry strawberry. And yeah, that bed's filled in and then some. You could have cut the runners all out of there. This bed was the lettuce. Most of that's bolted. We've still been pulling some from over there, on the far side, and a little more spinach that I seeded, and then I planted some fall lettuce here. Lots of it. So another couple weeks we'll be able to start picking off that. We got some sweet potatoes. These grew so well this year. I mean, I'm reconciling the fact that these are going to need to go in a hoop house or something next year. I'm going to need to build like a little mock greenhouse over this, but we can do that. So we'll do that and see how these fare. Get them a little heat, because sweet potatoes like the heat, and we just, even though we had a beautiful summer, we just don't get enough heat here. I do have some sweet potatoes. I'll show you when we get over to the other bed that has a few in it. I did harvest a few, couple plants out of here and one plant over there, and there's a teeny tiny one. But they were bigger than that. They, you know, they weren't like normal sweet potato size, but they were probably halfway there. So I can't complain. And we gotta make some dills here. We've got some little cucumbers. Some of them are a little fatter. And we've got some going. Probably enough to make a jar or two of pickles. Some fatter. Nice pickling cucumbers down here. They always come in such weird shapes for me. I don't quite get it. Oh, look, somebody had a snack on that one. Didn't like it, apparently. But, yeah, so there's a few of them. They look good. That one. And they're dying back too a bit, but it's probably just starting to get a little chilly for them. We got a couple beets in here. A couple nice... I don't do a good job planting beets. I need to be more diligent in thinning them, and I also need to find a variety that has nicer greens, because, well, these ones aren't bad, actually. These are pretty nice. But it's the greens I like. I like the little baby beets, too, but where I grew up in Maine, beet greens were a big thing. Beet greens and new potatoes. At least in my house they were, and I think they were in most houses. This is a cantaloupe. I didn't grow this one myself from a seed. I bought the seedling, but I did have two. And a crow, I think. A bird, somebody pecked into the middle of it and had a nibble. I've got some radishes here that could be harvested, and a couple that have actually gone to seed. These are, I gotta take a picture of these later. These are gorgeous. These radish seeds. And then we have some more beets here. I should probably thin those. Beets are pretty cold hardy, so those will stay in the ground probably, and they're in the ground, so they're kind of protected. I'll thin those and leave them in the ground for another month or so. And what is this? Looks like something was in the garden. Oh, it could be cockapoo tracks. Very possibly be cockapoo tracks. We got some kale here, ready to harvest the kale again. And we've got some small rutabagas. They're not enormous. Some of them are downright tiny, but I think they're okay. And yeah, you got the parsnips, and these aren't a bad size either. I kind of dug down and felt around, and they feel like they're okay size, and they're very tall, so we will leave those in until we get a few frosts, though, because those will taste better after they get a frost. They get sweeter after a frost. Leeks, pretty much everything in this bed is fairly cold hardy. Most root crops are, except for sweet potatoes, and everything in the kale, the brassica, cabbage, broccoli family, all those things are fairly cold hardy, as are everything in the onion family. So the leeks should be good. I'm gonna pick a couple of the best leeks, probably out of the other bed there, and because these ones didn't get huge, but I'll pick a couple of the best ones out, and I'm gonna replant them in one of the smaller beds, and along with a couple of onions, a couple of shallots, and a couple of red onions, and we'll harvest the seed from those, and that way I can grow, you know, some free stuff next year. And just the asparagus, gosh, it's beautiful, isn't it? So feathery. I love it. I need to cut these ferns here in another month, and once they start to die back, I'll cut them, and because that horsetail's all through this bed, so I'll cut them all back and put them in the compost, and then I'll take this this horrible horsetail, and I'll just cut that all out, and I'll just have to try to keep it out of the bed. As you can see, the potato bed, or the garlic, actually, I think it was, we took everything out of there, and it's got a ton of horsetail in it, and this potato bed's starting to get a little bit now. It's in every bed, pretty much. It's everywhere. But yeah, we had a lot of horsetail. We didn't have a lot of pests, you know, so every year it's something. We got the peppers here. I am thrilled about the peppers. I have never in my life had a pepper harvest like this, and I'm sure that's partly because of the great weather that we've had, but also I think it's because of the pruning method that I used, the praxis method. It's Ray Browning. If you want to check out his YouTube channel, it's Praxis, and there's a number after it, but it's PRAXXUS, and he's awesome. He's a very down-to-earth guy. He's fun to watch. He has a lot of adorable animals and really good gardening advice, and he just I think he's an all-around good guy. So he has this pruning method anyway, where you lop off your tomato and pepper plants like right down to nothing practically, except for the first, you know, couple sets of true leaves, and you just behead them. And it's horrible to do, and it's painful, but after I did it, I waited a few weeks, and I didn't think I was going to get results, but I have to say these are enormous. These pepper plants, I have never had pepper plants that that had this much fruit on them or that grew this big. Usually my pepper plants are this would have been a big pepper plant for me. You know, 1.5 foot. That would have been a big pepper plant for me last year. These little guys are supposed to be small. These are little Thai chili peppers. Aren't they cute? And they're still flowering. They'll flower right up until they're gone. And we harvest them for chili flakes, and they're fantastic. And I don't know what any of these are really. This is a bell of some sort. And we harvested 4 or 5 bells already. We harvested probably 1/3 of the peppers because we made salsa, which turned out really well. And see, I've got some really nice peppers on here, but of course we've only got 2 or 3 weeks left. There's a couple big ones on there. And oh, the jalapenos are just filthy. This is the small plant, and it's got like 4 or 5 big ones on it. And this is the medium-sized plant. Like I said, I harvested probably a half a pound of jalapenos at least, or maybe even a pound. And way back there, you can just see they're everywhere. You can just I've never check that out. Like I've never had. I'm kind of thrilled because I've never had peppers come like this. We live in an area that, you know, if you want to grow peppers, you really need a greenhouse if you want to grow them well. So this is a good year, and we got some anchos there, and quite a few small ones on this plant. The great thing about peppers is you can eat them at any age. You don't have to wait for them to ripen. They're delicious at any age. So you know, when we know we're getting a frost, we'll just come out here and pick every one of them, even the little guys, and toss them in a salsa or something. The second asparagus bed is going to seed. Wow, look at that. That is kind of pretty. I almost kind of want to cut that and put it in the house. Look at how pretty that is. And yeah, I've been harvesting a lot of these little berries to get the seeds out. And I'll maybe plant a bed of asparagus from seed next year. And we might plant some for friends. And we have the red onions. I didn't plant very many this year. I need to plant a lot more next year. The leeks. Here's where I'm going to get the leeks to let go to seed. Look at that. That's probably the nicest leek I think I've ever grown. They're pretty, a couple of them are pretty big. Onions didn't get huge this year. These are some kind of little guys. Some that are almost pearl onions. But then we've got a few that not a bad size. So I'll pull a couple of the big ones and let them go to seed. Same with the shallots. We got a couple of really nice banana shallots there. So time comes, we'll replant those too. See how things go. And I've been just deadheading calendula left and right. It's probably going to seed everywhere. Now we took the peas down. Actually, they fell down about 10 times, and finally I got exasperated and they were on their way out, so I just pulled them down, and there they sit in the wheelbarrow. So the corn kind of went crazy, and I don't know, it's everywhere now. I don't know if we're going to get any actual corn to eat. I think there's an ear back there that might be big enough. I don't know why the... Oh, sorry. I don't know why everything seems out of focus a bit there. That's probably better. So, yeah, the corn's not huge, but yeah, it's kind of tiny. I think that one's rotting, actually. But I gotta tell you, it's the best year we've had for corn yet, sadly. Corn's something else that likes the heat, so... yeah, well, I got kind of distracted here. Let's go back to the rest of these beds. We got carrots here. Something's something's killing the carrots. The tops of them, I don't quite know what, but the carrots themselves still seem to be okay, so it is what it is. I'll just leave them in the dirt and they'll kind of store there, I guess, until we get them all picked out. And kale's all come back in a couple weeks, so we'll harvest that again soon and make more kale chips. Jerusalem artichokes. These are probably, good lord, they're about 8 feet tall now. Oh, and they finally have flower buds on them. They hadn't, they're related to sunflower. They're supposed to get big, bright yellow flowers on them. And I was starting to kind of wonder because they hadn't. And horseradish, we'll leave that till next year. And here's the other sweet potatoes. So here's the big one. That's, I have enormous hands too, so that's actually a pretty long sweet potato. You know, so yeah, it's not too bad. And the other ones are kind of, you know, 2 or 3 times the size of a finger, width-wise. So we got lots of sage going still, lots of oregano. I got to start harvesting a lot of that and drying it. Some of the sunflowers are kind of on their way out here. There's a little spider. But the zinnias are still going pretty strong. Really like the zinnias, and the sunflowers are nice. Look at that. I love it. We've got some back there that are probably 10 feet tall. Yeah, this is really, and the bees. These sunflowers have been something else that have brought the bees in like crazy. And I don't know. I'll definitely plant more of these next year for the bees, if nothing else. But I'm hoping to dry. I don't know what the seeds are like, so I'm hoping to dry them and keep them out, put them out for the birds. You know, in the wintertime. I'm just gonna put these seeds down there, and we got these just popped up a couple weeks ago. I think these are asters or osteospermum. I'm not sure which. I planted both of them here last year, and they decided to flower now. You know, here's another one back here. I guess that's great. It means that they're, you know, either they're perennial or I think they just self-seeded. So I don't think either of those are perennials. So there's the 10-foot ones. Look at those. That's crazy. I kind of love that they're up there and that they're that tall. So yeah, so that's the wooden beds. I gotta step this up. I've only got 10 more minutes here, so we got this part will be quick. This is the alpine strawberries, the strawberries, the blueberries. Everything's pretty much done. I'm not even sure there's a single blueberry left. There were a few left on the bush a few days ago, but oh, there's one. Yeah, there's a couple. I'm gonna eat it. Couple, and the haskap are starting to. First couple of years I had haskap, I freaked out because the leaves did this, and I thought they were dying. And I mean, we haven't had anything close to a frost, so it's nothing cold related. And I panicked that they're dying. They've got a disease. No, this is just what haskap do. The other one hasn't started to turn yet, but if you have haskap and it's the first year growing them, don't worry if they turn black and look like they're dead, because they're fine. This is my giant Brussels sprout. I don't know what I fed, you know, this one looks like he's on steroids compared to the other 3. Good year for Brussels sprouts. They all grew much better than they ever have for me at any other juncture, but those, they're little Brussels sprouts. They're like half big enough to eat already. And I'm like, this is about the biggest one we ever got before, this little guy up here. that was about the most enormous one ever. More like this and this, you know. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I've got these beautiful seashell cosmos, I guess they're called. And, different shades of pink. I love them. They're very pretty. I hope to get some seeds for them this year. And a couple cabbages back there, and we've got the mustard here is going to seed. So as soon as that, actually I think it's getting dry now. I think I can probably harvest that and let it dry out, and then we'll have lots of radish seed. We'll have to buy that for a couple years. And the lettuce is going to seed there too. I'm kind of hoping I can harvest some of that. And mint is going. I should harvest some mint and seeds and send it to some friends who don't have mint. We've got the cabbages here. They're I don't know, the red cabbages. They're so tiny. But the green ones seem to do fairly well, except for this poor guy here who got kind of eaten alive. Cabbages are doing really well, though these ones are heading up. This one's kind of pointy, and the rest are very round, so it's strange. But they look nice. Good cabbage here. And no, we already looked at the onions and the leeks. And the corn. So the tomatoes. Cannot believe it's this late in the year and I have tomatoes on the vine and they're not rotting. Mind you, we do have some blight still. And it is affecting the plants and stuff, but the tomatoes are okay still. I did pull most of the tomatoes and just left, you know, I left little tiny ones like this size, you know, and stuff on it. And now those little tiny ones are, you know, pretty good sized tomatoes, so it's not too bad. We've got quite a few of them left. There's a lot. So I think we might still get more tomatoes. And we've eaten a ton of them fresh, and we've made salsa, and we've made, you know, fresh pasta sauce. With this basil too. This is all spicy Thai basil. And gotta start preserving it somehow. Get some olive oil and freeze it or something. This is butternut squash. It's just traveling all over the place here. There's another little one there. There's a little one. And there's a big one over there, if you can see that in the middle of the screen. And there's a couple more hidden in here somewhere. These beans, I gotta go through these beans. They're still going. Yeah, look at them. I should pick those tonight. They're still, green beans are still going. The yellow beans, and I don't know, the variety I used for yellow beans this year was kind of pathetic. I think I'll probably not use them next year because they seemed very disease prone. Tomatoes. And, you know, I picked all the red ones off at lunchtime. There's the funny thing. So that's how fast they're ripening. Like, literally, I picked all the ones that had a blush like this off like 3 hours ago. And it's a whole other whack of them now. So, yeah, tomatoes. But you know, all the other years we had terrible tomato failures. So this year is, it's a pleasant change. That squash is about ready to harvest, I would say. And I don't know what's going on with this guy. That is either a cauliflower or a broccoli. I think it's a cauliflower. The cauliflower, they just didn't grow very fast this year. And there's another guy there. And broccoli either. The broccoli was kind of slow too. The broccoli is finally coming. We got some nice little heads forming. I harvested one already, and hopefully that'll pop up into a couple more. And oh, I love these. These are called Little Gem Acorn Squash, and I'll show you what they look like when they're right the size. But they're Yeah, they grow like crazy. There's like last year I had maybe 4 or 5 or 6 on one plant, and yeah, you can look and see all the blossoms. Like, look at the clusters of blossoms. There's tons of them. But you can see there, one back there. That one's a nice fat one. There's another one going, and they're like a 1-2 person spaghetti squash. They're kind of perfect, really. Oh, there's another one, and not a spaghetti squash. Sorry, it's acorn squash. And we got some ground cherries here that just reseeded, self-seeded. I just left them because they were in a spot where it was open and they weren't hurting anything. So okay, got like 4 minutes of time left here. This is something else that brings the bees in really well, the borage. And this is ooh, that's a black cherry tomato. If you've never tried these are worth, if you don't grow anything else, it's worth getting a Rubbermaid container or a bucket or something at Walmart, and a bag of potting soil and maybe some manure, mixing it up and planting even one of these if you can get your hands on them. They're called black cherry tomatoes, and they're enormous for a cherry tomato. And I'm not a huge tomato fan as far as eating them. I mean, I eat them, but I don't drool over them or anything. But these are fantastic. They're absolutely amazing cherry tomatoes. Oh, look. Too little too late, but I have a little melon. A little melon that could. It's kind of sad. But who knows, maybe we can put a sheet over it for a few frosts, and maybe it will. I planted very tiny melons to give them a chance, so maybe they'll come to fruition. We got the pole beans. I didn't show you those. The pole beans over there, they're doing fairly well. We have this awesome celery here that I never blanched. So I'll probably end up like freezing it. We don't need a lot of celery anyway. I'll end up freezing it and probably using it for veggie broth. But look, this guy's flowering. He's decided that, late September, mid-September is a good time to flower. These ones didn't do as well. They didn't have as many flowers, didn't have as many fruit as the ones over there. Yeah, no melons here. This is the bigger ground cherries. They do have some fruit on them. Haven't dropped yet. 2 of them have dropped. I've been nibbling them as fast as they drop, though. And these are the tomatoes that had the really bad blight, but they're still going too. And the pole beans. Here's the pole